Good morning and welcome to Tech Talk Tuesday. I am your host, Tracy Kraushorn. This is Wayne Kraushorn.
Good morning.
Hope you all are doing good and had a good weekend. We are your tech team and IT is ever changing. So we come on every Tuesday to give you the latest and greatest and educate and support our business community.
Yes.
So, with that being said, want to know how everybody's doing. How are you doing?
Good. You know, it's a good time to be a sports fan in Tampa Bay. You know,
Yeah.
We've got the Stanley Cup. We got Rays lost last night, but the Bucks are looking really good. So anyway, it's a lot more fun than normal years. So it's good stuff. How are you?
Yes, doing good. Been busy. It's been busy, so I'll take it.
Good.
It's So as always, if you guys have questions, just submit them below. We'll get them at the end or during the week. We also, get back to you then too. So today we are talking about virtual desktop. So Wayne, what is it?
What is a virtual desktop? So it's something we've touched on before. It's really a growing trend for businesses these days. As a matter of fact, I just saw an article. Microsoft said that in 2020, their Azure WVD product might increase by as much as 60%. So there's a huge amount of demand for it. So what it is, quite simply, is if you think of your laptop or your PC, and you think about all the things you do on it, you run programs that either run on your PC or in the cloud, you have your desktop, you have your files, you have all this stuff. Now imagine taking that and putting it on a server in the cloud so that everything's running in the cloud. And basically your PC is being used to draw pixels and give you a visual and audio feedback, and allows you to bring files down to print in your office, things of that nature. So this has some inherent nice features to it. One is it's very secure. So when you look at cloud data centers providing cloud services, it's state-of-the-art security. And so that's good. Inherently, it backs up files for you because so often people have their files on their PC and they don't get it up into the cloud. Well, it's already in the cloud. So it's very easy to have those backups. And when you think about potential disasters that can take out your business, like hurricanes here in Florida or New Orleans these days, it seems like that whole area is continuing to get hit, or fires in the Midwest, it's inherently disaster-proof because these data centers, you'll have all of your PCs, all of your files, everything, and then they have their own backups in redundant data centers. So there's a lot of nice things. And then for businesses, larger businesses that have Active Directory, you can run virtual Active Directory. So your entire infrastructure can be run in the cloud.
Awesome. So when should businesses consider moving to a virtual desktop?
Yeah, you can really break it down into four main areas. One is if you have a remote or a mobile workforce. Let's start with the mobile workforce. People who they either are constantly traveling with their jobs, or maybe they're out at customer sites a lot. And one of the challenges we see a lot with our customers is they have their PC at work, and then they'll take a tablet out to the field, right? Maybe they're service related, things of that nature. And they want a file that's on their PC. So they got to call someone in the office. Can you grab it? Can you forward it to me? Think about your entire PC is in the cloud. So no matter what device you log into, you have that entire PC experience. As long as it's HTML5 communicating, then whether it's your phone, it's your tablet, you have your whole desktop.
Yeah.
So that is a really nice thing. And then another one is the remote remote workforce. You know, we have a lot of businesses that have gone remote, and we're not even sure how many of them are going to come back ultimately. But what that's done is, you know, when you're in the office, and we had everybody in the office, you're on the internal network and everything performs really, really well. But then everybody moved remotely. So now you have a lot of times sluggishness. They have VPNs, which take them out their internet into the business. You have all the hops in between. You have modems. You have all these things which tend to slow things down. Plus, you have one pipe going into your office where everything's got to communicate. All the people are coming in.
Right.
So now what you've done is you've taken that bottleneck, and now everybody communicates directly to the cloud. And so that speeds things up quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Another thing that has been along those same lines has been a nice, I guess, peace of mind, is in that scenario where everybody's communicating to the office, to the server, to the NAS. What happens when the power goes out in your office?
Right.
Or the internet goes down?
Right.
Your entire workforce can't operate. So that is potentially a bad thing for a company, right?
Absolutely.
And now you're waiting for that. Now you have UPSs that can handle temporary outages, but if your power's out for 3-4 hours or a day. So what that does is now it's in the cloud in these data centers. And so the data centers have all sorts of power grid backups and everything else. So they're not going to be susceptible to that. The last thing, and this is a big one for larger companies, a traditional challenge that companies had when they're doing investments into IT, say a server. A server is not a cheap investment, and it's an investment that you're going to have for 5, 6, 7 years, maybe longer.
Right.
If you're a business owner, and how big does your server need to be 7 years from now? Are you going to be 15% bigger? Are you going to be twice the size? You don't want to overbuy, but you don't want to underbuy. Now, here's one of the big, and this is kind of the lean in moment. This is the big thing that customers are liking about this, because everybody, as you add and subtract people, these are monthly licenses. So it's incredibly scalable. As you add people, you're booming. You just add more processors on the servers in the data center. If you have to contract again, recession, COVID, whatever, you just take people back off again. So the capital, you like that word? Capital expenditures that companies are having to look at, now it's becoming more of an operating expense month to month. So these things are making customers look really seriously at a virtual desktop solution. And many of our customers are looking at it, and we're implementing it as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So I know a question that came to my mind is, am I going to be able to use my current computer that I have, or what are the computer requirements for virtual desktop?
Yeah, so it's a great question. There's a couple of things to consider with this. Number one, when you going back, think about what this is, when all of your processing is being done in the data center, then you don't need near as much processing power. So your PC replacement cost becomes less. You don't need anywhere near the power. And especially if you think about, people who are running high-end programs where you need a lot of GPU power, things of that nature. These data centers can offer you whatever power that you need. You can add, you can be a power user, you can be a professional user, you can, so it's all scalable. The other thing is, this is kind of another side nice thing, we still have customers still in the process of migrating from older versions of Windows, which is a security risk. What we have been able to do is there are little devices, a little USB device that is a Linux environment. And the only thing it allows is that RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol, to come through. So you could actually continue to run a Windows 7 environment and still be secure. So that has been another consideration, looking at the existing PCs that customers have and how we can maybe, as is, put them onto the virtual desktop environment.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. That is some good info, and definitely something to consider.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we are up to your tip of the week.
tip of the week. So I was debating of what to do for this one, and then we got a call from a potential customer that they were having an issue, and as it turns out, their antivirus on their server had not been updated for 400 days. So my tip of the day, and thus they got a virus in their system. Check your antivirus. Just check. Make sure on all your machines. Sometimes something can get corrupted where they're not connected and getting updated anymore, even if you're paying for the licenses, or sometimes licenses expire. So go look at all your PCs. Don't forget your server, because there should be one on your server if you do have one. But just make sure that they are getting daily updates. A good antivirus software will update 2 to 3 times a day. And so you really want to make sure that is happening, because that's how many, as we've talked about before, there are hundreds of thousands of new viruses coming out every day. So they have to update.
Yeah.
All right. What's yours?
My tip of the week. So all of you Zoom users, you can now choose between, well, I mean, there's lots of software out there, but Facebook now is integrating their messenger rooms. And this is nice, because if you have a business page and want to do something with your customers or your team, or, whatever the case is, you can create a room right in Facebook Messenger. It allows you just to click all the people. It sends the invitation and then creates a private room for you. And it's much like a Zoom, although there's a couple fun, more, couple little features. You can do the funny faces. You can do, just some fun things. So that is my tip. If you haven't seen that yet, check it out. It works pretty well. And we are actually using it this week. So
yeah, to get coordinated on the scavenger hunt.
Yeah. So that is my tip of the week. Wayne, what is coming up next week?
I think next week we're going to dive into email archiving. So a couple of things, one, right in the SLAs of Microsoft and Google is that they don't 100% guarantee that they are going to protect and make sure they don't lose your emails. So email archiving utilities are a great way to do that, as well as, some people they have huge email boxes and they just continually run up against the limits. So this is a cool way of easily archiving and searching to retrieve without going through all the archiving features that come with Microsoft. So we're going to dive into that a little bit more next week. And I think everybody will find it interesting.
Well, I can't wait. So we do not have any questions, but again, just drop them in the comments. And guess what?
What?
Today was our 20th episode. Can you believe it? Oh,
yes.
My goodness. So when we get to 25, we're going to do a special giveaway. So just stay tuned. I know it's 5 weeks away, but it's going to be something fun and exciting. And so stick with us and you'll find out. So that concludes our program for today. We are excited you joined us. Thank you so much. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye now.